Hi, folks, and welcome back. It's Donna Martin here, founder of the Good Life Approach. Today, we're on to episode 2. So, if you listened to the first one, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find something useful out of it. Because, again, the intention of this podcast is to invite you to experience a different feeling, a new way of feeling about yourself, your life, and essentially about the world that we live in. And so, today in this podcast, I want to invite you to remain curious about this next question. And this question is who I believe I am holding me back? I'll just say that again. Is who I believe I am, you believe that you are, is it holding me back? Is who you believe you are, is it holding you back in any way? And so let's look at what I mean by that in my head and my ideas. And again, there's no right or wrong. You take what resonates, you take what feels right, what connects, what is signaling to you on a deeper level, on a level that you might not even have words for. It's pulling you, it's drawing you in a direction that says, I'm going to stay here with Dawn, I'm going to listen, I'm going to actually explore this, I'm going to get a pen and a bit of paper and I'm going to actually write this down. So is who I believe I am, is it holding me back? For me, the belief of who we are, I believe that yes, we are this beautiful human being gifted with this physical bag of bones that we all operate in. I believe that we're all gifted with a mind, with an intellect. And in that, if you want to talk about conscious, where you're consciously thinking about things, consciously choosing things, if you're in the thought of the subconscious, where you habitually, unconsciously generate and create things, that's the mind aspect, the energy of the mind, the flow of the mind that then signals you into the action of your human body. But we also have a third element on here, which I want to talk about, and that is our soul presence. What is our soul here to do? So for me, I believe that we're interconnected in three incredible parts: our body, our mind, and our soul. And that incorporates us into this triad being, which is essentially, if you like, a spiritual being having a human experience. And now I don't know what thoughts are rushing to your mind here as I say it. You could be in the thought of, I've actually heard this before, it's something I've read about before, it's something I resonate with. Or you could be like, oh, what is that girl on about? What's she going on? Wherever you're at, just invite yourself to remain curious. The question poses to you is who I believe I am holding me back? So I want you to explore this question. Who do you believe yourself to be? Do you believe that you are this beautiful human gifted with these physical abilities in whatever senses are working for you, and the gift of your beautiful human body that allows you to take action? But it also allows you to take inaction. It allows you to stay stuck, to not do things as well. So there's a law of polarity here, a universal flow. Just like the tide goes in and the tide goes out, the sun comes up, then it goes down and the moon comes up. We operate in a flow essentially in this universe, whatever you want to call it. But if you think in the context of this human bag of bones, what else is there in our reality? What other aspect is there of being us that we can believe that could possibly hold us back? So if you go from the human physical part, what parts empower you to take action in your life? What parts are currently unempowering for you, are currently limiting for you? Are you not as healthy as you desire to be? Have you got an ailment, a sickness? Have you got different beliefs around your physical capabilities? And this all ties in, and you'll see how it interconnects with, if we move to the part of our mind, what we choose to do either consciously or unconsciously. And what I mean by that is we all have a choice. And the mind that we talk about has two areas: our conscious intellectual feeling of where we consciously choose to think something, we consciously choose to follow through with it, and then we consciously move our physical bag of bones into action to make it happen. And then we have the unconscious side, the subconscious, that part, if you're familiar, it's that part of us that's deeply ingrained, that habitual imprint. So what I call emotional energy imprint. For me, I understand it as our strongest, most dominant emotional imprint within us. And sometimes we might not even be aware of that. And an example I'll give you to kind of help break this down a bit is when you're trying to do something, you're trying to create something, you're trying to make something happen, like in a relationship, for argument's sake, and you're like, oh, my relationships are all failed, they've all been a disaster, they've all been a nightmare, I keep attracting the wrong person. For me, I had that experience for many years because my mother had walked out. She told us she didn't love us. That was my memory bank from 4.5 years of age on Christmas Eve. But that was my imprint. That was my most dominant emotional imprint. And in that imprint, that ignited in me that I was not worthy of a relationship with anyone, male or female, because my mother had walked out. So if she was able to do it and she didn't see me as worthy. Now, this is the inner child. This is the language I'm doing. I believe on another side, and for another conversation, that my mother wasn't well, she wasn't able to manage, but that's a whole other conversation. But in my head and how I was rationalized things, how it imprinted on me and imprinted on years of my life and relationships, was that if she could walk out and tell us she didn't love us, then why would anybody else love us? Nobody else could love me in that way. So I kept attracting relationships of need, of lack, of unworthiness in all shapes and forms. Until I realized that actually, in the forefront of my mind when I was getting into relationships, I wasn't consciously aware to say to myself, Donna, you're attracting that relationship because you want to feel worthy and you want that person to need you, and you need their love and you need their approval. I was just hoping and wishing, fingers and toes and everything crossed, that this one would be the right one, that essentially it would land, and it was just a matter of kissing all the frogs before reaching the prince, and surely one would land and we would connect. That was the thinking. But the deeper rooted, unconscious, most dominant feeling in me was that I was not worthy of love. I was not worthy of a loving, respectful relationship because I had no idea what that was. And in my belief, my subconscious, my imprint was that I was not worthy. Was not worthy of love, was not worthy of a loving relationship, even though I did not even understand what that meant. Is that making sense? So this is where you can have something deeply ingrained in your subconscious and consciously in your mind as well. You're unaware of it. So it's asking you to look at if who you believe you are is holding you back. For me, in my experience, I was holding myself back because unconsciously I had this deep-rooted belief that I wasn't worthy of love. But I didn't realize that I had that on a conscious level. On an intellectual, I couldn't say that to anybody because that's not what I thought. I just thought that I had to kiss so many frogs before meeting the prince. And it was only when I'd gone through another impact and started going deeper into me, into my value and worth and self-love and care of myself, and really focusing on me and stop searching outside of me to fill a void, to try and get somebody else to fill that emptiness that I had within. It's only when I began filling up my cup, filling my vessel, my body, my internal, my subconscious with self-love, with self-care, with self-worth, that things actually began to change. Then I consciously let go and made a practice to let go of that need for somebody else to fix me, for somebody else to rescue me, for somebody else to come along and save me in this life. I realized after years of struggling and seeking and searching that the answers were within me. that the beliefs that I had held that I hadn't been aware of, that when I actually started thinking about these things for myself, and I invite you to do the same, because it's only when you start thinking about it, you look at it and you're like, oh, actually, it's bullshit. Actually, oh my God, I didn't realize that was inside of me. And the relief and the release when you actually let that go, when you put pen to paper and you write that shit down and you're just like, oh my God, okay. And you don't go on the path of McJudge on yourself and, oh, you should have done better and I wish I could have knew this years ago. No, please go easy on yourself. Be delighted with yourself right now if stuff is coming to your mind, if it's racing to you from all aspects, to say, wow, wow, wow. You actually get it. The penny is dropped. This experience of these experiences, what I'm sharing, that this is igniting something within you that you have had under a veil for so long and hadn't realized. Celebrate the win of the things that are dropping in for you right now. Celebrate that thing of, wow, I did not realize. And now what my curiosity has ignited a whole other passion for me to explore all the other things that are within me. So going back to that question of who do I believe myself to be? Do I believe that I'm this bag of bones? Do I believe that in my mind I can or cannot create or change things? What am I aware of? What am I unaware of that I have no idea how to tune in there? That's where we come to the third part, the triad. That soul part, that essence, that experience. For me, my idea, I love to see the soul as being here as part of our spiritual side, our whole essence, our body, mind, and soul. It's embodying a full spiritual being that I believe we are. I believe we are a spiritual being having a human experience. And why this matters, I suppose, for me and my idea, and what I want you to just be curious of, you don't have to take this, but just be curious and ask yourself, well, if I think, and a really good one here is if I think about the idea of manifestation, manifestation means to make something real. But why does it work and why does it not work for some? Why is it consistent or inconsistent for others? And I'll talk about this on another episode. But when you're in a flow state for manifestation, you've connected the human action taken with the mind of your conscious and unconscious, with your emotional energy imprints, with your beliefs, with who you believe yourself to be and know what you're capable of. You connect to your soul's experience, to the desires, to that beautiful whisper, that longing that continues to come to and through you all the time. That you just have to simply sit and pay attention to listen to question, to invite, to bring to the party when you're showing up in this thing we call life. When you're thinking about your idea of the good life, what qualities, what aspects of who you want to be. Do you want to be joy? Do you want to be love? Do you want to be happiness? Do you want to be health? Do you want to be abundance and prosperity? That is your being. That is who you be in any given moment through your imprint. So when we go back to who we believe to be, and is it holding me back, or is it helping me to unleash my infinite possibilities? You have the opportunity now to remain curious and question where you're at in these beliefs, question where you're at in these ideals, in these thoughts. What is showing up in your human physical world right now as your experience? Because when you understand the dynamics, the triad of who we are, if you have that overall concept, that holistic view of, oh, okay, if I could be a spiritual being and I can see how my human side, my experience right now, but where was my thinking? Where was my idea on this? Where was my feeling? What did I believe to be true for me? Did I consistently say to myself, I just know this isn't going to work? I know that I'm not good enough to get this job. I know that this relationship isn't going to last. I know that they couldn't love me for who I am. I know that I can't be myself with these other people. It's about a whole embodiment of everything. It's about you understanding the power and the energy of your mind, of your human physical side to take the action, and of your soul experience, that spiritual being embodiment. That's what, when you harness that power, that's where you create the consistency in manifesting. That's why I love the power of intentional design, because manifesting is just a tool. It's when you understand how to utilize it to become aware of your beliefs through your mind, through your conscious intention, exploring the unconscious stuff, looking at your experiences and saying, okay, so my experience is just a telltale sign to show me what is going on in my subconscious right now. It's showing me through an experience in this physical world what my deeper rooted beliefs are. And in the spiritual, the loving side of you can be neutral with you, can be respectful for you, can be supportive and empowering for you instead of judgy and putting you down and hateful and keeping you in your corner of your box. That essence of who we are, unlimited, infinite possibilities, is phenomenal. You can be in any state of joy, love, abundance, prosperity, wealth, health, happiness, whatever you choose in any given moment. But we keep ourselves in a prison of our own mind, of our own ideas. And this energy part of us, what we call the attraction, you've heard of the law of attraction, but there's so much misconceptions around this. In a nutshell, we are this physical bag of bones. We have this soul energy within us, and we have this mind energy. It's all embodied to and through our bag of bones. And if you go to science for a minute, neurological thinker, and you think about the quantum field, it talks about this energy field, that it is found, that it has gone deeper into, that it can say, yes, there's a tangible thing that's actually real in this world. We can show you through feedback. The other part of this is there's a machine called the Kirlian photography machine. It's a medical machine to scan you and take photos. If you went under that scanner, you would light up like a Christmas tree. That is another here and now fact that we have all this energy. Talk about Reiki and the holistic field. Again, your energy points, the colors, the lights, the part that harnesses your energy. So if you're just in a dominant state of physical doing, action, you're in what we call a masculine energy all the time. And if you've heard of yin and yang, male and female, I believe it's an energy essence that we're all in all the time. Males aren't just males, females aren't just females. We all operate on a flow of both. It's all interwoven, infinite within. But if you're always in the doing, you're going to hit a wall and burn out. If you're always in the feminine and not in the action taking, again, you're not going to manifest, you're not going to create. So it's about finding that flow. It's about harnessing that physical capability that you have, harnessing the conscious and subconscious of your mind, that energy. It's about looking at your emotional energy imprints. What are your dominant feelings? It's about looking at what is there, what voice, what's calling you, what's telling you to pay attention, what's keeping you up at night, what's awakening you, what's whispering in your ear, longing for you, inviting you to pay attention to. Are you in a job that you're absolutely soul destroyed in? Are you doing a business that you're soul destroyed in? Are you in a relationship that is destroying your soul? Are you keeping up appearances, putting on a mask, putting on a front, putting that step forward, doing, and you just feel exhausted? This will invite you to be curious and come back to the question, is who I believe I am in this moment, is it holding me back? Or is it helping me to unleash my infinite possibilities? And I will leave you with that, folks, for this week. Write it down, take the time, re-listen to the recording. Feel free to send me an email with your questions or your own insights, your own experiences. And remember, your greatest asset is your ability to be yourself. So who are you choosing to be today? My name is Donna Martin, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.